Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you with it.
Welcome back to Final Guys. You know what? I just remembered I used to say what episode it was at the beginning. So I just looked. It's episode 246. That's
Wow.
insane.
We're creeping up to a landmark.
Oh, yeah. We should do something for
We're
250.
creeping up for another bad movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So this week we are doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The new one. Not the one from the 70s. Not the one from the 2000s. The new Netflix. I don't think they made it. I think they just got the rights to it. Anyway, the idiot speaking is Jason Brand. I'm joined by Hunter Shea,
Hello, how are you?
Jack Campisi.
Hello there.
This is going to be an interesting conversation, I think. I'm very curious to hear your opinions on this movie. Very curious.
Probably going, what are those two old fucks thinking about this?
That's exactly what's going through my head. Before we jump into the award-winning news segment, do you guys have anything you want to throw out there or share?
Do you know what? It's early in the show. We usually say this for later, and it's always half-hearted. But I'm going to say, everybody who's here early on, please give us a review somewhere. Wherever you listen to us, watch us, drop a review in there. It's huge, hugely important. Because if we don't get a lot of reviews, Jason's going to just shut the whole damn thing down and just watch shitty movies for SBIG. So it's on you guys.
Pretty much there at this point.
Yeah. So we're almost done. So do what we can.
That's probably the third time since we started this show that we've asked for reviews. It's not common.
I do
like
it
every
at the
100
end,
episodes.
usually stupidly. But yeah, I'm putting it up early. There's a lot of people here. So take a break from calling us vanilla faces and put a review, then come back. How about
And
that?
subscribe on your podcast catcher.
On your podcatcher.
Yeah. I will say, I'm not through it, but I saw probably a third so far of your interview with, what's the family's name?
The Addams Family.
The Addams. You think I could remember that? And it's great so far. So anybody should go over there and check out Monster Men. It's a
Please
good
do.
interview.
It was. We weren't stupid for once.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
Exceedingly down to earth. Like they're, because this gonna be their second movie that hit Shudder?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. It's a hell of an accomplishment. They just
That'll
seem
be our main feature next
That's-
week. I would
That's
think.
next week's show, I do believe.
sweet.
Hellbender.
And
All right.
want to do some drinking words?
Yeah, it's Drinking Words brought to us by Sheridan Bradford from wherever the hell he is. Jack, your words tonight, and when you say them, people must do meth. Our original Sally and Flowers.
Meth.
Wasn't there a Sally Flowers porn star in the 70s? I feel like there was.
Where was Waylon Flowers and Madam?
Oh, that was porn. My words are PTSD, swamp, and kids. Like what wasn't swamp? Ass stations are school, bus, and generation. And bonus is Leatherface, Candy, and Toby. So there you go.
Or Tobe.
Tobe. That's the way you want to spell your name? That's what you get.
I had a lovely Toblerone candy last night.
Oh, fancy.
Jack, are you ready
Born ready.
for your big moment? Here we go. It's the news. Yay!
Is that the paper you've used every episode?
No, I use a brand new piece of paper every time because I print it.
Straight from Dunder Mifflin.
Well, it's the news, yay. Have you guys ever heard of the Fat Vampire book series?
Yes. Yes, I have.
There's Fat Vampire, Tastes Like Chicken, All You Could Eat, Harder, Better, Fatter, Stronger, Fat Apocalypse, Survival of the Fattest. It's about a vampire who was made a vampire in a rush, and He's like the slowest, weakest, most out of shape vampire ever born, doomed to heal his corpulent death for all of eternity. And he's like disgraced by other vampires and kind of mocked by people he tries to glamour. I have heard of this, but I never read any of the books. The reason I bring this up is Sci-Fi has ordered 10 episodes of a show called Reginald the Vampire, based on those books. And it's going to star Jacob Batalon, who is the guy who plays Ned Leeds in the Spider-Man movies.
Okay. That's
That's a
interesting.
bold move in this day and age where you're going to fat shame a vampire.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That really is, now that you say that. I mean, that's what it sounds like. That's what the whole thing's about. I never read them, but when I first started writing, I used to see, what's the author's name? Damn it.
Let me see if I have it.
I used to see him on forums and stuff talking about self-publishing.
Johnny B. Truant.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's not even who I was thinking. Yeah, he's got a bunch of podcasts. He's a part of a writing team. I can't think of the name of it anymore, but he and I think 2 other guys write a shitload of books together. Like, shitload of books together. And they've just kind of created this empire. So that's pretty cool.
I don't think that's his Christian name. Just going to go out on a limb.
It might be a pen name. I don't know.
His real name is I Don't Feel Tardy.
That's a cool idea. An interesting story idea. Holy shit.
It'll get canceled before it ever hits the air.
Yeah.
There's some executives going to be like, we can't put that out there. So good luck, guys.
Jacob Batalon is funny. He was in another horror movie, one of those Hell Nights or Hellfest ones with like an amusement park with a slasher kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's a good choice to be the lead. Well, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. Another couple of quick things. A Quiet Place Part 3 has been announced by Paramount Pictures with a target date or at least year of 2025 for a release, which is a million years from now.
Jesus.
2025.
What the hell?
So, I mean, the kids are going to be...
They're going to have their own kids.
Yeah.
What the...
Oh. Now, there's nothing about whether any of the returning the former cast are definitely returning. It's just there's the movie, and then I also believe that there's another spin-off movie that's been talked about as well, but this would be a direct sequel. I kind of feel like 2025 is so far away. Like, it's like when they're talking about Avatar sequels. I'm like, who cares about Avatar? It was so long ago. Like,
yeah,
I love Quiet Place, but
I mean, I'm not excited for it. I like the movie, but it's going to be 15 years later till Avatar comes out. 2025. What the hell, man? That's really strange. It's the third movie. The third movie in a series is almost always the one where it just completely shits the bed. So maybe they're trying to avoid that.
They should break it up into 2 movies. Like, I don't know.
When they made The Hobbit into 3 long movies.
Good
for
God,
a book that was like that big.
3 long shitty movies. God, those were
I didn't
terrible.
watch any of them. There was no.
They're worse than the Star Wars prequels.
They're bad. Bad.
That's terrible.
And I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I have the regular DVDs and then like the extended DVDs. So I mean, and I watched all the extras on all of them. So I mean, that's how much I love.
Didn't we see one of them with your nephew when he was young?
Probably.
I think we did, or maybe it was Mike. I don't know. It was somebody, a friend with a nephew. It wasn't my kid.
Okay.
All right. The last piece of news, it was kind of funny because it was on like every website, and it's really a really small thing that everybody just latched on. So I was like, all right, I'm going to bring it up. John Carpenter was at a fandom event, or speaking with fandom, I guess that's a website. And he said that somebody asked him like, what movies of his would he like to revisit for a sequel? And he said The Thing, maybe Prince of Darkness. And then on The Thing, he goes, well, I think there's just a little bit more story there to tell. I'm not going to tell you about, but there have been some discussions about The Thing and what we could do. Because as far as we know, the 2 main characters, Childs and McCready, are still alive. They were alive at the end of the thing, so maybe they're still alive.
Okay. But
Now that would actually
they
make
no
me
longer, but they no longer look the same. When are you going to wheel them out into the snow? I mean, come on.
maybe they've been in a government test facility for 30 years.
Well, you could use Russell's kid, right? So he looks like
Does
him.
look like him.
But
I don't
does
know.
Keith David have one?
I want John Carpenter to direct anything. Anything.
I think it's well documented that we all love the thing.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I don't want a sequel because then that ending is it's like The Sopranos ended. There's a question, you don't know exactly. You have to speculate.
Right.
If a sequel happens, that gets answered.
Yeah.
And then
True.
It was a great ending. I love the ending. Like, I don't need more. I don't need an encore.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, anytime I hear about one of these guys who are coming back from the original 40 years later, it always gets me excited, even though it never works. I don't know. I think the
Yeah,
horror kid in
exactly.
me is always like, yes, I want it to work. It doesn't, but I don't know. I wish he's directed what, one movie in 20 years, something like that.
He's done.
I can't imagine him going back into the system unless he did something for Blumhouse, maybe where they just gave him $5 million and let him do whatever the hell he wanted.
And
Eric
let him do.
Smith
Yeah,
just read my mind. We need a Ghost of Mars sequel.
How about Body Bags? Let's make that a series on Shudder.
I did hate that.
All right, that's all I got. That's all the news that's fit to print.
Okay, well, let me get this comment. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to jump into our curation segment.
We have such sights to show you.
Hunter, did you watch
I go
anything
first
interesting this week? Yes.
I did. I've seen this thumbnail on Shudder for a while. It's been on my list, and a lot of people have talked about how much they love The Last Matinee. Have either of you guys seen this yet?
No, it's on my queue.
Hadn't even heard of it.
All right. So I believe it's from Argentina. It's shot like it looks and sounds and feels like an Italian horror movie, which immediately I'm like, oh God. But people were really singing this movie's praises. This is about, first of all, it's The Last Matinee, but in the movie, they're showing like the last show of the day. That's not a matinee. Those are in the morning usually, but whatever, it's fine. So point. It's set in like 91 or something, 92, and it's a few people in this sprawling movie theater. There's the projectionist, who's this heavy guy, coughs a lot. His daughter comes and spells him, says, "Go home. You're supposed to be home." So she'll run the projector. And a psychopath has bought a ticket, and he's in the movie theater, and he's going to do some stuff to them. And the movie they're showing on the movie screen is some Frankenstein movie. I think the people, I didn't look this up, but I suspect the people who made the movie also made that movie, which is playing constantly in the background. And it looks terrible. But it's slow for such a long time. And I was just going, see, this is why I don't watch Italian horror. Giallo, but I don't like Italian horror. Even though this isn't Italian horror, it's Argentinian horror. But you could see the homage that they were doing. And then it started to pick up, and then it got really good. So like for the last 20 minutes, huge thumbs up. I love things that are set in drive-ins, old movie theaters. The killer in this was kind of cool. But it's like, who's in there? There's 3 teenagers, one girl by herself, a couple in probably their 30s, and she gives this dude a hand job. One little kid who snuck in there. There's not a lot of people in there. I would think this is a good double feature with Demons. Demons will show you when you can kill a lot of people. Like the theater reminded me a lot of that theater in Demons too. Except Demons had a shit ton of people to murder. I love that movie. So it kind of had a Demons vibe. But I'll tell you, the last 20 minutes, I loved it. So overall, I liked the movie. I went from love, it finishes at like.
How
Yeah.
how long is it?
85 minutes or something. Horror Fan Collector says best use of a pickle jar. Oh, yes. There's a big ass pickle jar in this movie. It's shown early and later.
So this is one of those where you think people are loving it because the ending was so good that they leave the movie thinking, "Oh, hey, I really loved that," even if the first hour wasn't great.
I think you got those, and then you got people who just love Italian horror, like regardless, you
It's
know.
true.
Except this made sense, so that's how it veered away from Italian horror. where
Doesn't
it's
sound
like,
very Italian to me, then.
like a Fulci movie where you're like, "What the fuck is going on in this?" This made sense. It had a really
You
cool
just said
killer.
full. Rebecca McKendry has to drink.
And I'm going to say bonkers, so everybody has to drink.
Do you know she has a PhD?
You
No
know
way.
what? I heard she teaches at some college that people have heard of. Why are we
Got it.
shitting on Rebecca?
I have no
I'm not-
idea. I like
I'm
her.
not, I wasn't. It was enough. I didn't mean anything, but just she's always talking about Italian or Fulci.
Yes, she does love it, man.
Oh,
I would love
God.
to like that. She's someone I'd like to sit with for like a week and just like let her give me an education on like some of the parts that I think I have blind spots in horror.
She knows her
would
shit.
Be good. She does.
She definitely does.
Yeah,
Alright,
check
Jack.
out The Last Matinee.
Cool. Check.
I watched the new Scream movie.
Oh, I can't wait to hear how this was not good.
It's not bad.
Radio
Well,
Silence did it right.
It's not great.
Yes, they did.
Here's the
I
thing.
love those guys.
I haven't seen the Scream movie since the second one, and I don't remember anything about it. I liked the first one. I saw the second one. It was a time in my life where I could care less. I was going out having fun, young buck. Who cares about Scream movies? And then I never
Yeah.
really cared about the other ones that came out afterwards. Never saw them. I actually want to see Scream 4 because of the cast. But so this is a long time. I watched it. I was entertained. It's nothing new. It was like the same exact beats I remembered from the first one. Some really good kills, some laughs. And then the ending happens and it kind of gets a little bit heavy with the exposition as to who the killers are and why and this and that and the next thing. So, why the motivation behind why Ghostface is doing what Ghostface is doing. That felt a little clunky. They have the legacy characters in it. They don't really mean a lot to me. So I thought it was like a good watch for a night. I was expecting a train wreck and it wasn't. It was fine, but like,
Okay.
I'll watch it. I had a good time. Like I said, the ending felt a little clunky, but it was okay.
You've seen it before.
Yeah.
I should have more like affinity towards Scream because that was the first one when it came out. I took my wife to the theater, and that's night she came out really sick, and we found out she was pregnant. So I feel like I should have this association with this movie. Going, I love this movie, but
The first one is a good movie, and it
Yeah,
was
it
fun
is.
what they did with the meta stuff. They do some funny meta stuff here, like they talk about like the movie we're watching now. They call it a requel. So there's some fun stuff there, but also I kind of like forgot about that when I started the movie, and as soon as they started laying on me, oh, you did that, that's against the rules.
yeah,
That just keeps coming up and coming up and coming up, and I was like, okay, I kind of forgot that that's what these movies are all about.
yeah.
So-
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
You can get away with that for one movie, but then it's time to stop. It's time to
Exactly.
stop.
Did
But
any of
I
you
was
watch
actually
the show.
No, I
Hmm?
didn't.
You didn't watch the show, did you? The MTV show.
What?
Scream? You didn't know Scream
Oh,
had a
I-
show
I-
on MTV?
I totally forgot about that. That's how little I cared. No, I didn't watch it.
I thought you had a stroke. Yeah, that's as long as you're all right.
It's like TV. What?
I'll tell you what, though, I was really expecting to hate it. Be like, oh, what is this? And I was like, oh, for the resurrection of a franchise, there's a lot worse out there than this one. And I imagine if you're a Scream person, you probably appreciate it way more than I did.
Right.
I'm I'm not the target audience for this.
I really like the first Scream movie, and I don't like the sequels. I remember one of them being okay, but the problem is you're writing a meta movie, a meta slasher. Like I just, you can only do that once, really.
Mhm.
And the first movie wraps up everything so well that, like, what are you gonna do in a sequel? Just make up some BS reason why someone else is trying to kill the same people? It just doesn't work. It's kind of a standalone idea, but
Yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
some people
obviously
really
not.
love that stuff. So
Is this like the 5th one?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I have one other complaint because I'm apparently in a bitchy, stupid mood tonight. I'm sick of these movies that are sequels to the originals that have the same fucking name.
They actually mentioned that in the movie. It's pretty funny.
Okay, good. At least they're addressing it. It's driving me nuts.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's worth watching. It might even be worth a main feature just to talk about it. A couple of
Wow.
but just because the whole Scream phenomenon would be an interesting conversation. I don't
Sure.
really want to go back and watch all the Scream movies, but I'd be curious to see what you guys think of it. Maybe you came out and hate it, or maybe you're like me and like better than I thought, but I'll forget about it.
Series for
tomorrow.
Jason.
I don't want to do that. I'm looking forward to watching this one, mainly because of who was behind it. I really like those guys. I think they do interesting stuff. So
I'll watch it with my kids because they like Scream. So maybe I'll feed off their energy. Bleed them dry.
Okay, I got one movie in this week, and it was what the hell was? Oh, Valentine.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So speaking of Scream, this is one of the dozen or so Scream knockoffs that they pumped out over a 2 or 3 year period, where they just got hot young actresses and then had some completely forgettable killer hunt them down and kill them in unimaginative ways.
Yeah.
That sums this movie up to a T. It's not bad. And that's the thing with a lot of these post-Scream movies. They're not poorly done. They're just generic. They're just it's just the same thing over and over and over. But this one you do get Denise Richards, which is
There's a lot of talent in this movie.
I do remember that.
But beyond the good-looking girls, there's not much going on. You know, they try to put twists in, but it's like, eh. And again, yeah, it's not bad. You know, it's like a 5 out of 10. You know, it's just not interesting enough that I remembered it. And I think I watched this when it came out, somewhere in the year or two after it came out, and I had zero recollection. As I'm watching, I'm like, I don't know if I actually watched this. And I could watch it again in 2 weeks and probably feel the same way. It's just not memorable. But it's not.
I remember who the killer is, and I remember a scene with a hot tub.
It's because Denise Richards, for no reason, they're like, okay, get in a bathing suit, we're getting you wet. And I'm not complaining, but
no, I took the day off of work to take my wife to see that movie. We went to a matinee, and I remember zero from it, other than we walked out and we were like, okay.
It's just not memorable. That's the problem. It's just like all the other movies that came out then. It's not bad. It's really not a bad movie. It's just seen it. It all blends together in that 3 or 4 year period where they just pumped these suckers out.
I can't believe I never think of watching it on Valentine's Day.
You see the cover. It just hit Shudder.
Oh.
You can see the cover though. They're going for the Scream mask with the Valentine Cupid mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, and then they just get Denise Richards because she was hot shit at the time. Throw her in there. Probably made some money. Everybody was happy, So, not bad. If you like this time period of slashers, which it has its fan base, then this might be right up your alley. I mean, it's decent. It's better than some of the others that came out. It's just not super memorable.
Did you like I Know What You Did Last Summer?
So that's one I remember liking, but I have not seen it since I caught it in the theater. So my memory I don't remember who the killer is. I remember the hook, but that's about it. So I couldn't even really tell you. I need to revisit it, actually.
That one's worth watching. The sequel, not so much. You can let that go.
Maybe I should go back and check that out. When did that come out? 99? 98?
Episode 250.
There we go. coming your way.
Hunter.
Okay, well, since we're in a TCM kind of state of mind, after we watched this new thing, I said, well, let me go back because I remember really loving the 2003 version. So it's on Netflix.
Is that the
So
Jessica Biel one?
that sure is, son. It sure is, son. Let me tell you, I remember a lot of Jessica Biel in that movie, and for very good reasons. And because they frame her body coming and going to the camera, away from the camera so many times. And now I'm watching it, and I'm like, she looks like a child. And I realize she's like 19 years old when she filmed this thing.
Wait, I thought you had the beginning in here.
I have the one from 2003 and then the one from 2006 with
Oh, I didn't have the remake in. Okay.
yeah. So despite that, this, despite the tongue wagging over some starlet, this is a really good movie. This is a excellent Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Yep. Arlie Ermy is amazing. I mean, I always wondered what was he like in real life. I don't think there were silent moments with him or it's like warm and cuddly. I think he was insane.
Jacket is what he was like in real life.
Yeah, exactly. He's over the top crazy in this movie. It's a gritty looking movie. It's dirty because this is like a remake of the original. So it's set in the early 70s and they've got the mini bus or whatever the hell that thing is. And everybody is just, you can smell the funk coming off of everybody in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And it's kind of creepy. It's not really that gory. And none of the TCMs really are.
The leg scene is the only one I really remember being super gory.
Right. But I mean, that's it. There's not blood and parts flying everywhere. It's tense, but it's gritty. That's what made the first one so great. It just looks like some forbidden film that you found on the side of the road.
Yeah, it looks like it was filmed by a psychopath.
Right. And this retains it. And I think the best shots of the house that any of the movies in this franchise have taken, the way they shot that house was just, from the exterior shots, amazing. Like I want to live there. Although I would clean up the inside a little bit.
I remember being very surprised when I got around to seeing this. I was like, whoa, this is actually good. Way
better than you thought it should be.
Yeah.
And there were some elements in this that I'll talk about later that this got that the new version totally forgot about somewhere along the line, I guess. But this is great. I mean, the original and this are probably the two best in the whole series.
I agree. I think this, not that I've seen all of them, but I think this one is the second best. But if I were to go back and watch one just to show someone who's never seen one of these, I would probably show them the remake just because I feel like it would be more palatable for a normie kind of person.
And it doesn't have annoying Franklin. Oh,
my God.
Jerk.
But I think what they did so well in this one is they took the slick, beautiful characters that was the thing in all the slashers in the late 90s and early 2000s. They took that cast, but they dirtied them up and made it look like a grittier movie. So they kind of combined the two styles, and I thought it just worked surprisingly well.
Yeah. And everybody was good in it.
Yeah.
I
really enjoyed it.
So yeah, it's on Netflix, boys and girls. So
Eric Smith said he couldn't finish it. Maybe you should give it another try. It's not the holy grail, but it's a pretty good movie.
I'm wondering about Eric. There's been a few comments lately. I'm wondering. I thought that we were simpatico, but now I'm starting to rethink.
I'm done with you.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. I said good day, sir.
What you got, Jack?
Hunter, it's funny you said you're going down the Texas Chainsaw Massacre road because I happened upon another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie on HBO Max that I didn't realize was there. It was a little gem I had never seen before called Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
Oh,
with the Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger.
I can't wait to hear what you think of this.
I did not see this. It's always went on my to-do list. And what year was this movie? 1994.
Yep.
I think they scrubbed it from their IMDb page.
I had a frigging blast with this movie. Oh my God. It is hilarious. It's I saw an interview with Matthew McConaughey. He had his U-Haul packed, was ready to go from Austin to Hollywood, and he had a bit part in this movie. And the guy making the movie called him in and said, "Do you know anybody else who might be a good person for one of the leads?" And so he gave him a
Right.
few names, went out to his car, thought about it, came back and said, "Can I audition?" The guy's like, "Yeah." So he did the audition and he crushed it. So he delayed his trip for 30 days, filmed this movie, then got in the car, drove to Hollywood, and became a huge star.
Oh, he's
Wow.
great in this. Him and that mechanical leg.
Oh my God. There's so much to let. First of all, I think if I had seen this in the 90s, I would have thought it was pretty stupid. Seeing it now with my knowing who these people are and what they've done with sequels in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I love this movie. It's insane. It's Leatherface is like screaming like a baboon like, the whole time.
It's the nuttiest of them all. It's like it's unhinged.
I had been told this was a so bad it's good kind of thing. Are you saying it's actually just good?
No, it's good. I think it's good. I always thought it was good.
It feels like an 80s movie made in the 90s. It's got kind of the aesthetic of 80s, and it's not that far from the 80s anyway. It keeps the spirit of the original movie in that it's got a insane family around Leatherface that half the time you're like, what? Hunter hit it. There's a mechanical leg involved in this movie, but there's also this weird like mafia Illuminati thing happening.
What?
It's bizarre.
That's bizarre. So it is an insane movie that is a lot of fun to watch. Jason, you should definitely check it out.
Just your description sounds like a so bad it's good kind of movie.
It does.
I mean,
sound
look, it's
like
borders on that because there's definitely some uber cheesy stuff that happens in this movie. There's a part at the end with a plane that's hilarious. But
it's like, what?
It's not like Steven Seagal movie bad. It's more like Joe Bob kind of.
Like somehow it works.
I mean, everything you just said, I'm sold, but I don't think for the reasons you're saying.
No, I can tell it's not for the right reasons.
And then you watch like Renee Zellweger, like in all her glory, you can't recognize her now. I don't think she just got older, plastic surgery, but like last time I saw her, I didn't realize it was her for a while. You're like, oh yeah, I remember her.
This is the most star power you'll ever see in a TCM
the
movie.
two of them are so good. You're like, oh, I see why they became really famous.
Yeah.
I don't know where to put it on so bad good. It's good versus the all-time horror pantheon, but it's definitely worth watching. And it's one of my favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Oh, Eric just redeemed himself. Welcome back, Eric. Thank you. You can stay now.
All right, I got to check this out. Looks like it's on Netflix, which blows me away.
Well, I saw it on HBO Max.
Oh, it's on Netflix? Oh.
That's what IMDb's saying right here.
All right, I'm in.
All right, I read a graphic novel.
By yourself?
I know. It's
Aaron didn't read it to you?
I looked at the pictures.
Nice.
It was. Have you guys ever read Sour Candy by Keelan Patrick Burke?
Yes.
No.
Outstanding novella. You would love it, Jack. It's so good. So it is being adapted into a graphic novel for John Carpenter and Sandy King's graphic novel press. I can't remember what it's called. But I got an early copy of it because we were interviewing him for Bleeding Page podcast.
Nice.
So I read it and it is really good. The artwork is awesome. I already loved the story, so I had a feeling I'd like it going in, but the artwork is super interesting. It almost looks photorealistic with the faces of the characters, but it's just drawings, but it looks almost like photos. So when craziness starts to happen, it's more disturbing. And he made some changes towards the end, just kind of ramped everything up a little bit more from the original story, and it's a lot of fun. To the point where I'm wondering if I need to check out more of Carpenter and King's line, like whatever they're doing with this. So Burke was saying that apparently he does sign off on every story. John Carpenter signs off on every story before they decide to publish it. So I don't know how much he has to do with the workings of it, but
He
apparently
flicks some
reads it.
cigarette ash its direction. It's good.
Good enough.
What's it about?
I can't really say much without ruining the twist, and it's a great twist, but a guy goes into a grocery store and there's a child just screaming and freaking out, and the mother is standing a few feet away looking at candy, and she's just completely checked out. Like, she's not hearing it. She looks like shit. I believe she's missing her teeth, and the child is just freaking out, and it's kind of drawing a crowd, and things go off the rails from there. I don't want to say anything more, but it's wild. Very good. It's probably like $3 on Amazon if you want to read the ebook.
The ebook's really good.
Sour Candy. It's a great story. Hunter?
Oh, I'm again. By the way, Eric, he said he's burned all my books so he can make room for Stephanie Myers. That's awesome. Well, good. Then you have to be stuck with those books and read them. So I got another TCM for you. It is the one in 2006. What the hell is it called? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Beginning. So this gives us a little bit of an origin story. It's set in 1969, but the movie starts in 1939 when a woman is working at a meatpacking plant and starts to convulse and things sprout out from between her legs, and next thing you know, a deformed baby slides out. And there is little Tommy Hewitt, who will one day be known as Leatherface. The cool thing is about this movie is I think they had so much fun with R. Lee Ermey as his father or whatever, adopted father, God knows what. But he was, deep sixth in the other one. So they went back a few years. So you find out how he became a guy pretending to be a cop, and the madness. It's a smaller cast of loonies, but it's so very effective. And this is the one with the huge lady walking around in the sun with the umbrella. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? But that's what you need. You need those moments in Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Yeah. This one has Jordana Brewster.
Always easy on the eyes.
From the Faculty. Yeah. And it has Diora Baird. I think that's how you say her name. You would know.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. She was always one of my favorites. There she is. So it's got pretty people, but again, grime them up. They're dirty, like within 4 seconds of this movie. It's crazy. There's some torture-y shit in there. Jason, you've seen this, right?
Nope.
You haven't? Well, there we go. So yeah, there are definitely some torture moments, torture porny kind of stuff going on.
Can't wait.
I know. But it doesn't.
Do you like this
long.
movie?
I like this movie a lot. It's a Michael Bay movie.
Because I think I saw this and was pretty lukewarm on it. But
it said Jonathan Liebesman directed it. He did a couple good movies.
It's well done. It's not as good as the 2003 version. And this isn't one that I'll revisit all the time. Like, I'll watch the original. I'll watch the McConaughey one. I'll watch the 2003. But it's actually a pretty good prequel to the remake of the original.
A torture porn prequel.
It's a moment. It's
sold.
A moment in time, but you can move past it.
Son of a bitch.
Again, a lot of fun. And bleak. At the ending is bleak. So I like that too.
Fitting.
Yeah.
All right. Jacko.
I read a book.
Oh,
it's a very scary book.
Did you buy it?
I did buy it. It's called A Month of Duncan by Armand Rosamilia.
Does that count for this show? Just because we like him.
First of all, shut up. It's my turn to talk.
You did not buy
Second of all, I'm the mayor of horror, and I do whatever I want on this show.
The mayor of horror?
The mayor of horror.
You do revoke people's licenses.
Goddamn right I do.
You are not fit.
Number 3, Armand Rosamilia, friend of the show, good episode of Bleeding Page. And most importantly, and this is Hunter, listen to this part.
Yeah.
For the horror, it's scary how much Dunkin' Donuts one man can consume in 1 month.
By the way, can he not get sued for this book? He's even got the Duncan font. Maybe you shouldn't be holding the book up. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about this at all.
Listen, this is a fun read. I was looking through his books and I saw this and I was like, part of the reason I wanted to read this was I was like, I feel like I got a book like this in me. I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is I thought he was going to spend more time talking about the things that he was drinking and eating, and he touches upon those, but it's really more of his sort of journal. And he's got to go to a different Dunkin' Donuts every day, and he's not allowed to order the same thing twice. Sometimes he goes with his wife, sometimes by himself, and he tries to strike up conversations with people. So it's his like inner monologue while he's trying to get the courage to talk to people, freaking out when somebody's looking at him, almost getting in a fight.
How about the courage of people talking to him?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't look like someone you want to run up and hug.
No, he looks like a biker who had a couple runs in the UFC.
But but you find out like he's this like introvert that's like terrified to go talk to somebody. Listen, I've met him on Monster Men and consider him like a friend now. This is interesting. I got to know him a little bit more and I enjoyed his little journey for 30 days or 31 days in Duncan. And speaking of number twos, nice sized chapters. You could get 2 or 3 chapters in a session if you wanted to.
Beautiful.
Wow.
As far as
all right, that book is all yours, Jack.
I actually did not do that, but you could.
Would you say that this is Armand's Creature?
It's a month of Creature.
I'll say this. Yes, because he probably poured more of his soul out in this book than anything else he's ever written.
See? There we go. It is his Creature.
It is his Creature. Very nice.
Jack, also, when are you and I going to write like a lifetime of Colony?
Exactly. I was like, what food would I do? If I had if blogs were around when we worked together, I could have done a barbecue blog for the whole country when I was traveling.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
like, maybe
get on it, son.
It's New York area pizza. Well done, Armand. I enjoyed it.
I have a book of his for next week. That's so funny. We're featuring the Armand man.
I'd say he could come on as a guest, but he doesn't watch horror movies.
Yeah, out.
So strange.
This is the last time we'll ever mention him on this show again.
He's dead to us.
I have nothing else. You guys got anything?
No. Just
right.
Yearning to talk about this new one.
We might finish an episode around an hour 2 times in a row. How amazing would that be?
This is beautiful.
Let's jump into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The third one named the same thing. I don't know.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Now, I know this is going to be a difficult movie to just think up a quick summary for, but can you handle this one, Jack? Or should I pass it off to say my name?
A lonely Texas man protects his town from gentrification.
Yeah, that's the core right there.
The hero kills some really annoying people.
Yeah, you nailed it.
All right, that was perfect. What did you think about it?
I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this moment with how I felt about it. I'm going to say this. I'm going to be succinct for once in my life. This is a fun, gory movie that trips over a bad plot and terrible characters.
Okay.
I think they should put that on the letterbox. For sure.
Hunter?
I watch this. I usually like our main features. I try to watch Monday, so it's fresh in my head. But I was like a kid at Christmas. Friday, I got home from work. I said to my wife, "We're watching TCM right now. We got it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go." I'm kind of with you, Jack, that the gore in this was another level, which did not think that that would be made in this day and age. So that part was good. There are some supremely dumb decisions and moves in this movie that are almost unforgivable. But thanks to my pal Paul Hibbard, when we were doing a Zoom thing, I think I have some answers on why. It might be intentional. But I do love that Leatherface did take care of some archetypes of human beings that exist that I don't like at all. So
Killed a lot of Twitter users in this movie.
yeah, which is it's a surprising movie that this came on it's on Netflix. I'm like, this is counter to what they're trying to program the world to think and believe and behave as. So
This felt like a Netflix movie the whole time to me.
oh, and it's a little too slick
Yeah.
looking. That's a problem too. But there's problems. But I enjoyed the gore. I enjoyed the ending of it, the very last scene. I thought that was hysterical, and I enjoyed the bus. So, hey,
Some scenes in it you really dug.
yeah,
I literally flip flopped on whether I liked or hated the movie probably 4 times while watching it.
yeah.
5 minutes in, I'm like, this pile of shit with these idiot characters that I just want to reach into the screen and strangle. Like, do I really need to see a woke Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie?
But they were so polite.
But
I was
then
like, these kids have no edge.
no, none. I just as I'm watching him mow through them, I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a statement about these kinds of people?
Yeah, there's like a reverse woke thing going here because
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of
there's a Texas gun guy in this movie that
yeah.
you think is going one way, and then they're like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so I flip-flopped on that, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, this dude, how old must he be?" The first one came out in
Yeah.
73, so he's gotta be 70 years old?
Oh, he's in his mid to late 70s, but the director said early 60s. So they
Yeah, I don't think he
jiggered
knows
with the
math.
timeline.
I don't want to jump to too much spoilers, but I'll say this. Besides the fact that let's call him 75 for argument's sake, that's one thing. There's a chainsaw that's been dormant since the 70s.
40 years.
I can't start my friggin' snowblower right now from last season, and that thing right up.
Yeah, hanging out on the
Clearly,
wall.
no one's ever used chainsaws from more than 15 years ago. Trying to get those goddamn things to start, even if you just used it 20 minutes ago, you're just ripping on that son of a bitch for hours.
Yeah. Well, this is a chainsaw that was probably made in the 60s, and they don't make them like they did back then.
I want to see one where he's got the new bright green Home Depot electric one.
Just
You run
his
until the
electric
plug comes
engine.
out.
He's got like, wait, he's pre-charges the batteries, and he's got like 2 spares, and he's like chasing Jessica Biel. He's like, wait a minute, I gotta change my battery.
And by the way, I guess he put it in the wall fully gassed because it was
Well,
ready
gas
to
doesn't
go.
go bad either.
Gas doesn't go
Oh.
bad, and it's fully gassed and oiled.
Yeah.
So
That thing is fucking Excalibur.
yeah,
When it cut through that waste pipe like it was butter, I was like, wow, that's one hell of a
That
chainsaw.
chain would have broke off and whipped him in the face.
End of movie.
So, the movie is full of so much stupid shit like that, but then it redeems itself in the next scene when he's massacring gentrifiers on a bus. And I'm like, okay, I love this movie. And then the next scene, I'm like, what? So I just flipped back and forth. And I guess I'll settle on, I actually enjoyed it, but it is a big, dumb, loud movie. But there was a lot of positive, fun stuff in it. And once I just was like, okay, forget the fact that he's 75 and overweight and like, and all the, the chainsaw and all that crap. Once I could just like kind of let go of that and have fun with it, it was a fun movie. And it ended on such an awesome note that helped too.
Oh my god, that ending was. I could not. I was almost crying. I was laughing so hard at that ending.
There's when we get into spoilers, clearly the bus scene is the pivotal thing in this movie.
It's redemption.
So
That's awesome.
let's shelve that for spoilers.
Okay.
Well, I have a question. So it's a bunch of, what are they, millennials? So I don't know what to call these
Yeah, I guess.
Annoying pieces of shit.
Annoying
Looking for their piece of Shangri-La in the middle of
social
nowhere.
media posers, and they bought the whole town.
I literally never understood exactly what was happening.
Yeah, the bank repossessed the town, and they were buying. But did he buy the town, the guy and the girl, and then they were going to sell off parts of it to them?
That's the impression
Like-
I got. They people were there to bid for buildings because one was like, "Oh, my comic book store could go over there," and I'm like, "There's nobody for miles. Who's going to buy your comic books?"
Yeah. I could not understand. I was like, so are they getting investors to buy the town and then they will sell off parts? But then I don't know.
You know what? We might have gotten to that part if it didn't start raining and then start raining blood. So we just never got there.
It was literally just an excuse to get a whole bunch of annoying people there for him to kill. So again, even that, I'm just like, oh, okay, we got a bunch of teenagers in the middle of nowhere, or 20 somethings.
20 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
When
so
he
we can
comes
kill
on the bus and they all turn their phones and they're just filming.
him. When
It's
he,
like,
yeah,
here we go, kids.
you want to be canceled, bro, or something like that.
Why don't you just get the spoilers so we could?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Wait,
We all kind of feel what?
Was there a post-credit scene?
Oh,
Yes, there was.
Damn it, I didn't watch.
and I hung into
I'll
the
tell
credits
you
for a
in
while
spoilers.
too.
It's really quick.
Okay.
All right. Spoilers for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All right, go for it.
Hunter, you and I have done enough road trips. If we were in a bus,
Yeah.
got to a town, it started to rain, would we party on the bus or would we party in one of the many empty buildings and use the bus as the bathroom?
If we were with that crowd, we definitely would have been in the empty movie theater. Just like, fuck these people. Just get some booze and just go there and get a couple of cigars. We're fine.
The redneck Texan guy, when they first showed him and they were shitting on him, I was looking at them and looking at him, and I'm like, I would hang with that guy. There ain't a chance in hell I would be in the same building as these people.
Exactly. With his big diesel exhaust, stupid truck, redneck, with your dumb gun and your cars. I mean, that's what they were setting him up to be, like the jerk of the movie. And
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, that was the interesting thing, because you thought it was going to go, he's the right-wing gun-toting bad guy of this movie. And then halfway through the movie, 3/4 of the way, he's not 100% good, I guess, but he turns out to be the good guy.
Yeah,
Dude.
he was the best character in the movie.
The way his leg gets broken. We paused it and rewound it like 3 times. We just kept going, holy cow, that was horrible. I would have died on the spot.
So I kind of like that the millennials, for lack of a better word, they were all unlikable, and I couldn't wait for them all to die. Like, there wasn't like a whole lot of likable people in this movie. Leatherface is probably the...
You didn't like the androgynous girl who'd been through the school shooting?
Oh, well,
liked
Arya
her.
Stark.
Yeah, I liked her.
She ended up being
liked
okay.
her.
She ended up being okay. At the beginning, it seemed like she was just going to be a pouty asshole.
How'd
But
you
then it
feel
was
about
like she was pouty because she was with all those assholes.
how'd you feel about like wedging in the school shooting thing? That kind of felt like we're trying to check off another box here.
I thought so, but then I think they were just doing that as a way to add drama to her picking up the gun to use it at the end to show that it was a struggle, but she still did it. But you know, that's the way I took it. But when they first mentioned the school shooting and she was scrolling on her phone through like protest stuff, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a heavy political movie. But it really,
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Let's get to my number one problem with this movie.
Number one, yes.
What's her name? Sally?
Yeah.
The girl from the original movie, who's
the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
character. After Texas Chainsaw Massacre, she joined a Texas Ranger. Has spent the last 50 years
hanging out with Chuck fucking Norris,
trying to hunt Leatherface, who it turns out is in like
the town over.
The town she's in puts the girls in the car. I've been training my whole life for this. Goes upstairs, gets him in his sights, and then she freezes.
Yeah.
And
Well-
then when she does wakes up to go after him, she screws up every time and ends up getting.
Like, you've got him dead to rights. Why does he need to say your name?
Why didn't he kill her? Why did he walk past her?
He just turned his back on her and walked away. I'm like, these are two. Neither of them made any sense.
I
She should have
didn't
shot him right
understand that
away,
scene at all.
and he should have killed her right away.
Yeah, she should have come out with like bear traps and shit she was throwing around the town and all kinds. She could have done interesting. She could have. It's Texas. She could have rolled in with a goddamn tank. You know. Instead, she's just shotgun 4 or 5 shells. That's it.
Well, here's the theory that my friend presented. He said he thinks that's a big FU to the people who make the Halloween movies, saying, "See how stupid this is," and they made it even dumber. And it could be.
So they made the end of their movie like stupid on purpose.
Yeah.
Who said this?
Just a friend of mine. We were
Oh.
talking about that, and he was like saying, he goes, they're probably thinking this whole Laurie Strode thing is dumb, and they're going, we're going to show you how dumb this really is.
I don't buy that.
But it makes no sense. Nothing about her part makes any sense.
The writing pretty much throughout is stupid. So I would just assume it's just more stupid.
But you could have done so much with that, although not really, because they're both old.
They were doing what they're doing with Michael Myers in the new ones too, where he's supernatural. It seems.
Well, I didn't like that at all.
He grabs that dude's arm and just breaks it, like just with like a turn of the wrist.
Yeah,
and then he gets shot like 17 times and just keeps on trucking.
Yeah,
you're talking about Leatherface.
Yeah, Leatherface.
Yeah, he's also Aquaman at one point because he shoots out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
like
know.
Freddy and Jason versus Freddy, or Freddy versus Jason when he like
yes. Yeah, I was
God.
like, why is he all of a sudden nigh invincible? He's just a
because
fat
he's
dude.
75. I'm like, if I walk up 2 flights of stairs, I'm done. This guy's 75 and he's like running around with a chainsaw, gets shot, stabbed, cut with his own chainsaw.
Yeah, taking center mass shots every time.
Stabbed in the gut, chainsaw to the face. He's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, he's 75 and like 300 pounds. He would have both knees and hips replaced.
He's clearly not doing cardio like the Zombieland suggests.
No.
His hair wasn't even that gray. Apparently,
No.
eating people keeps you young.
Did you know who the old lady was?
Oh yeah, she's from that that movie with the cats.
Alice Creed or whatever. Is that how you say
Yeah,
it?
Sleepwalkers.
The Borg Queen.
Oh yeah, I always know her from Silent Hill. Yeah, she runs the church in Silent Hill.
She was the
She's a
witch
great
in
actress.
Gretel and Hansel.
Yeah, no, I love seeing her in it, but that was another issue I had. Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies aren't just about Leatherface; it's about the kooks all around
Yes.
him. And she was one kook.
This was
Didn't
meeting the
last long.
grittiness and the kooks.
Yeah, I like to see. Come on, Grandpa, hit her, Grandpa. Like I want to see stuff like that. I mean, didn't get any of it.
Eric's asking how the hell Laurie Strode, I mean Sally Hardesty, is still alive after the chainsaw through the guts and thrown. By the way, the shot where he throws her off the chainsaw blade looks incredible.
Yes, and right into the garbage.
Yeah, how does she alive? Just like everything else in this movie. Like, how does any of this happen?
Yeah.
But it looked cool.
The same thing happens in Scream. People are taking shots and getting stabbed, and then they're just like walking with their hand on their stomach. Like,
I don't need my liver.
I'm fine.
I did want to say too, this movie looks phenomenal. I don't know who shot it or what they did, but it just looks good. I don't know if it looks like a Texas Chainsaw movie without the grittiness so much,
No.
but it looks really good. The way they did some of the kills and some of the violence. You know, sometimes you could see some CG, and sometimes it looked like that looked like a pretty good practical effect.
Yeah.
So they did a really good job.
And the
with
kills
that,
are
so.
awesome.
Yeah.
If you're going for kills and blood, man, that's a good movie to have. It just veered so far away from everything else in the series. I was like, all right, whatever.
I don't know if I would trust a remote control car to drive me
Let me
anywhere.
tell you, your stupid remote controlled car, and you
Bar-
can't stop it.
Barnard says his gripe is Leatherface wore fresh skin instead of leather on his face. that. I mean, I can't argue with that.
That would be Barnard for
Hey,
sure.
he was MacGyver. He did with whatever he had available.
I wonder if I'm going to do that to my mom when she passes. Is it a thing? Should I do that and pose her in a cornfield somewhere?
See, my problem is he didn't put like the lipstick and blush and stuff on.
No, well, you didn't have time.
Is that what he was doing? Was he putting makeup on or some kind of lotion?
Well, yeah, because he's always been like a.
Oh, that's right. Later in the movie, I think he did.
Yeah, he sits down and just starts. Yeah.
Did you like the way the first guy, when he goes into the house and then he gets all messed up and like his face?
Oh, his face. That looked good.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever flip-flopped on a movie so many times while watching. I'm like, wow, I hate this.
It's like I said, it's a stupid movie with great gore. That's
yeah.
The way I was kind of feeling like you, Jason, flip-flopping that Wrong Turn movie that came out. What was it, last year? It reminded me of that, where I kept going back. What is this? I don't like this. Oh, I think I like this. I don't like this.
I think I like this more than that, though. But
I did. I enjoyed this.
But the same kind of
that didn't have the bus scene.
Yeah. Could we talk about the scene where the car is driving away and the sister gets pulled out of the window and just has her head sawed off
while the sister's standing up in the sunroof?
That is how you end the movie.
Yes, that was great.
Wow.
And Leatherface looks none the worse for wear.
Yeah, he's totally fine. Didn't even look like he was bleeding.
I was so happy to see that character die.
She looked like what's her face from Better Off Dead. She looked like her curly hair and everything. She reminded me of, what was her, Franklin? Bonnie Franklin?
And a little bit like maybe from Arrested Development.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, that was a great ending, man. That was just the perfect way to just wrap it all up.
Yep.
It really was. The end credit scene is just Leatherface walking back to a house and down the driveway. So basically it's like he's going back to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house or something.
Good golly. How?
He's fine.
They Michael Myers.
How did Laurie Strode not have a plan, except take a chainsaw, take a shotgun? Well, you know what? She survived getting her guts chainsawed so long. Maybe that was her plan. Like, I can take it.
Maybe there was a scene after that scene where she's walking home too. Wind whistling through her guts.
Leatherface can throw a chainsaw pretty impressively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good with that.
That chainsaw was more powerful than any of the chainsaws in any of the other movies.
Yeah.
It could do anything. It could cut the moon in half if he wanted to.
It continues to spin even when he throws it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Your leg. I mean, that's like his Captain America shield, apparently.
Yes. It's like when Spider-Man comes and goes, wow, that doesn't even obey the laws of physics.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no.
Anything else?
That's the movie. If you shut off your brain, which I did, I just had a good time with it.
Yes. Compared to, like, I don't like a lot of this, the entries in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So this one, it's short, it's fun and dumb, so it's okay with me.
If you didn't have the gore, though, I might not like it.
Oh, if no gore, then screw this movie.
Yeah,
no, there wouldn't be anything redeemable if he didn't massacre all those people in amazing ways.
Yeah, so that's kind of what made
the
it.
Bus is worth the price.
I could watch that scene over and over again.
You want to be canceled or whatever he said.
And nobody's getting off the bus. Nobody's doing anything. They're all just like,
they're worthless. Just worthless people.
Yep. They nailed it. The guy's like walking around drinking from a bottle, pouring it in other people's drinks. I'm like, oh my God. This guy.
You're going to give everyone COVID. Stop it.
Oh. Amazing. All right.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week?
Hellbender
from
on
the
Netflix.
Addams Family.
That is correct.
Go listen to our interview with it first and then watch Hellbender on Shudder.
That's right.
Does it drop this Friday? Or?
Friday, 24th.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Looking
just in
forward to
time.
it. Everybody do your sure homework. And we'll see you next time.
So long, Leatherheads.
See ya.